Have you ever sat by the window, maybe with your favorite drink in hand, and found yourself thinking about how quickly life moves? The quiet moments seem to invite those deeper thoughts, don't they? Maybe you've started noticing small changes in yourself or someone close to you, little shifts that make you pause. As we grow older, it's natural to reflect more, and those reflections often bring with them a quiet awareness of how precious each day really is. Now, this may not be the kind of conversation people like to bring up over dinner, but I believe it's one we need to have, gently, honestly, and with care. Today, we're going to talk about something many people avoid, the signs that may appear in elderly people about a year before they pass away. Not to cause worry or sadness, but to encourage understanding, to foster deeper connection, and to help you recognize when someone may need more love, more attention, or simply more time together. So let's begin this conversation with reason number one, the gradual withdrawal from life, physically, emotionally, and socially. This is something that often creeps in slowly. You might notice someone stops going to community gatherings, skips a weekly game of cards, or declines family dinners they used to love. You might hear things like, "I just don't feel up to it," or "I'll come next time," but next time rarely comes. And it's not just about being tired. Sure, we all slow down with age and everyone needs rest. But this is different. It's more like a quiet, stepping back from life. Even the things that once lit a spark in someone's eyes, gardening, baking, playing with grandchildren, might no longer hold the same interest. It's not a one-time thing, but a consistent pattern over weeks or months. You might also notice emotional withdrawal. Someone who used to be chatty, full of stories or jokes, now says very little. Conversations feel shorter, smiles don't come as easily. They might spend more time alone or appear deep in thought, looking back on the past rather than planning ahead. It's as though they're slowly turning inward, focusing on memories instead of moments still to come. Now let me be clear, just because someone is quieter or more tired doesn't mean they're nearing the end of life. Many people go through ups and downs, but when this withdrawal is steady, lasting, and paired with other changes, like physical decline or emotional detachment, it's worth noticing. If you're seeing this in someone you love, the most powerful thing you can do is simply be there. You don't have to fix anything. You don't need big answers. Just sit with them. Ask gentle questions. Remind them they're not alone. Sometimes being present is the most healing thing we can offer. And if you're going through this yourself, if you've lost interest in the world around you, if you feel like you're just fading into the background, please don't carry that weight alone. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay to lean on others. There is still so much light to be shared, even in the quieter seasons of life. This withdrawal, reason number one, is a quiet sign. It doesn't shout or demand attention, but when noticed, it can open the door to deeper connection, to tender conversations, and to time that's more meaningful. So let's hold space for that. Let's not be afraid to notice it, to name it, and to respond with warmth. Now that we've gently explored this first sign, let's keep moving forward together. In the next part, we'll talk about another change, something you can often see in the body, a shift that might start small but says a lot if you know what to look for. Now that we've talked about that quiet turning inward, the emotional and social withdrawal that can sometimes appear about a year before someone passes, let's continue gently into the next part of this conversation. This one is a bit more physical, something you can often see with your own eyes or notice in small daily routines. It's something we often explain away at first, but when it continues over time, it tells us that the body may be slowing down in deeper ways. Let's talk about reason number two, a consistent, noticeable decline in physical strength and energy. This one might seem obvious, but here's the thing. Most people don't recognize it for what it is because it doesn't happen all at once. It's not like one day someone wakes up too tired to get out of bed. It's more like a gradual fading. A person who used to get up without help might start needing support just to rise from a chair. Someone who used to cook a full meal might say, "Let's just have toast tonight." The stairs that once seemed fine now feel like a mountain. You might hear things like, "I just don't have the energy today," or "My legs feel weak." And sometimes even, "Everything feels heavier than it used to." This isn't just about aging. This is about a shift in the body's ability to bounce back. You'll see them needing longer naps during the day, struggling with basic tasks like getting dressed or bathing. Even their posture might change. Shoulders droop, steps become smaller, and movement gets slower and more cautious. And again, to be clear, tiredness on its own doesn't mean something is seriously wrong. But when you see a consistent pattern over months, when everyday activities become too much, when energy seems to vanish even after rest, it's often a signal that the body's preparing for deeper rest. Not just temporary recovery, but a kind of winding down. There's also a shift in how food and drink are handled. You might notice someone eats less. They might say, "I'm not hungry," even at their favorite mealtime. They might skip meals without realizing. Their appetite fades slowly, and the joy they once got from food begins to disappear. This is all part of the same process. As the body begins to shift its focus inward, preserving energy, slowing systems down, it stops asking for fuel in the way it used to. Even hydration changes. Drinking less water, sipping instead of gulping, sometimes even forgetting to drink at all. Dehydration sneaks in quietly and only makes things worse. Confusion, dizziness, even more fatigue. And if no one's paying attention, it can spiral quickly. Now, if you're seeing this happen, it's easy to feel helpless. But here's something powerful you can do. Keep things simple. Offer small meals that are easy to chew and full of comfort. Maybe a warm bowl of soup or a favorite soft fruit. Keep water or juice within reach. Use a straw if needed. Encourage them gently without pressure. And when they do eat or drink, even just a little, let that moment be a quiet victory. If this is happening to you, if you feel your energy slipping away more often than not, I want to say something from the heart. It's okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to rest. But it's also important to speak up. Let your family know. Let your doctor know. You don't have to pretend to be strong all the time. Your strength isn't just in what you can lift or how far you can walk. It's in your honesty, your wisdom, and your willingness to let others walk beside you. There's one more thing I want to say about this sign. When physical weakness becomes more noticeable, something else often happens too. Falls. Maybe it's a stumble in the hallway or losing balance getting out of bed. Maybe they say, "I just felt dizzy," or "my legs gave out." Don't ignore that. A fall might seem like a random accident, but it's often a big sign that the body's foundation isn't what it used to be. So when you begin to see this slow, steady loss of strength and energy, reason number 2, take it seriously. Not with fear, but with compassion. It's a time for gentleness, for softer routines, slower mornings, more help with basic things. It's a time to be close, to offer comfort, and to accept the natural rhythm of life as it begins to quiet down. Next, we'll talk about something a bit more emotional, something that often hides in plain sight, but says so much about how someone is truly doing on the inside. We've talked about that quiet emotional withdrawal and the slow loss of physical strength, 2 signs that often appear when someone may be approaching the final chapter of their life. Now, I'd like to take this conversation a little deeper, into a space that often goes unnoticed. It's something many people don't talk about openly, but it reveals a lot about how someone is really feeling inside. Let's explore reason number 3, a noticeable shift in mood, personality, or outlook, especially feelings of hopelessness, confusion, or emotional distance. You might start noticing that someone who used to be calm and even-tempered is suddenly irritable, snappy, or withdrawn. Or maybe someone who was always joyful and lighthearted now seems unusually quiet or flat, almost like they've emotionally checked out. There's a heaviness to their presence, like they're carrying something you can't quite name. Sometimes this change shows up as anxiety, worrying about things they never used to care about, like who's coming over, where an object is, or what day it is. Other times, it might look like sadness or even a quiet kind of despair. You might hear things like, "I don't know why I'm still here," or "I just feel done," said not dramatically, but almost with a sense of quiet resignation. That kind of language, especially when it's consistent, isn't just frustration. It's often a signal of deep emotional fatigue. It's important to remember that these feelings don't always come from depression in the way we usually think of it. Sometimes the mind and soul are beginning to prepare, just like the body does. There's a kind of internal settling that happens. For some, it's peaceful, but for others, it can be confusing, even frightening. They may not know how to put it into words, so it shows up in their behavior instead. Confusion is another subtle but significant piece. You might notice someone forgets simple things more often, like why they walked into a room or what time an appointment was. They may ask the same question again and again. Sometimes it feels like they're not quite there. Their thoughts are slower, their responses a bit delayed. And while mild memory slips are common with age, this kind of confusion often comes with a shift in awareness. They might seem disoriented in familiar places or unsure about people they've known for years. There's also something else, something softer, but just as telling. It's when someone stops showing interest in things that once mattered deeply to them. Maybe they stop asking how the grandkids are doing, or stop watching their favorite TV shows. Maybe they no longer care about the holidays or upcoming birthdays. It's as though the things that used to anchor them in the present moment are no longer enough to keep them engaged. That emotional distance, it speaks volumes. If you're seeing this in someone close to you, it can be heartbreaking. You may want to shake them out of it, cheer them up, or bring them back to who they used to be. But the truth is, what they need most is your understanding. Instead of trying to fix their feelings, try to meet them where they are. Ask gentle questions. How are you feeling today? Or is there something on your mind? And if they don't want to talk, that's okay too. Just being present is enough. A touch on the hand, a quiet moment together, that's where healing happens. And if this is you, if you've felt emotionally detached, like the world is moving around you but not with you, I want you to know this. Your feelings are valid. They're not a sign of weakness or failure. They're a sign that you're human and that maybe, just maybe, your heart is asking for a little more peace. That doesn't mean it's the end, but it does mean it's time to open up, to talk to someone, to let yourself be cared for. Emotional and mental shifts, reason number 3, are often overlooked because they're quiet. They don't show up in blood tests or scans, but they matter. They matter a lot. And when we notice them, when we truly see someone in that state, we're given a chance to respond with deep compassion and love. Now, in the next part, we'll talk about one final sign. It's one that brings all the others together in a way, and it often happens in the last stretch of the journey. It's physical, yes, but also deeply spiritual in its own way. So far, we've explored 3 signs that often appear in the final year of life. That quiet emotional withdrawal, the steady loss of physical energy, and the shift in mood or mental clarity. These changes may unfold slowly, one after the other, sometimes overlapping. They're not always obvious, but when you begin to look closely, when you really see a person, not just their actions, but their presence, you begin to understand the rhythm of this stage of life. Now let's talk about reason number 4, a significant change in sleep patterns and the body's daily rhythm. This one often starts subtly. You may notice someone sleeping more than usual, not just a nap in the afternoon, but long periods of rest throughout the day, sometimes even sleeping through meals. They might start dozing off during conversations or while watching television. Sleep begins to take up more space in their day than it used to, and no matter how much rest they get, they still seem tired. And then, something else shifts. Nights become restless. They may be wide awake at odd hours, 2 or 3 in the morning, wandering the house or simply lying awake, staring into the quiet. Sleep becomes fragmented, like their internal clock no longer knows when it's supposed to rest and when it's supposed to rise. This isn't just insomnia, it's the body slowly letting go of the strict schedules it once followed. And in some cases, there's a deeper kind of restlessness. Maybe they become agitated or fidgety in the evenings. Maybe they talk about going home, even if they're already at home. This kind of behavior is sometimes called sundowning, and it's especially common in people with dementia or cognitive changes. But it can also happen near the end of life in people without those conditions. It's like the mind and spirit are gently preparing for something we don't fully understand. You might hear them say things that feel out of place, like, "I need to get ready," or "they're coming soon," with no clear explanation of who they are. You might see them reaching out in their sleep, talking softly to people you can't see. These moments can be unsettling, but they can also be strangely peaceful. In many cultures and traditions, people believe that near the end, the veil between this world and the next begins to thin. And while we can't explain it fully, we know it's real to the person experiencing it. As sleep becomes deeper and waking time becomes shorter, it's a signal, not of giving up, but of letting go. The body is shifting from doing to simply being. It's conserving its energy for the final stretch of the journey. And this is where presence becomes so important. In those final months, and especially in the last weeks, just sitting quietly with a loved one, holding their hand, speaking gently, offering warmth, can be more powerful than anything else. If you're witnessing this change in someone you love, know that your calm presence means the world. You don't have to keep them entertained or cheerful. Just being close, offering touch, speaking their name, those are the gifts that matter most now. And if you're the one feeling this change, if you've noticed that you're sleeping more, or feeling drawn inward, or seeing things that feel strange but peaceful, I want you to know there is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are in a sacred part of life that deserves respect and tenderness. This is not something to fear. It's a time to be surrounded by love, to reflect, to forgive, to share stories, and to rest, truly rest. So here we are. We've talked about the 4 signs that often show up in the last year of life: the withdrawal from social and emotional life, the decline in physical strength and energy, the changes in mood or awareness, and the shift in sleep and rhythms. These signs don't always come in a straight line. They don't show up on a schedule, and not everyone will experience all of them. But when they do appear, they ask us to slow down, to listen, and to love more deeply than ever before. This isn't meant to bring fear. It's meant to bring clarity, because when we understand what's happening, we can respond with grace. We can treasure the time we have. We can make space for important conversations, for healing, and for connection. If you've stayed with me through this whole conversation, thank you. This topic isn't easy, but your willingness to explore it shows a strength and tenderness that the world needs more of. Whether you're supporting a loved one or reflecting on your own journey, I hope this has brought you a little comfort, maybe even peace. And if this video helped you, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me your story. Let's keep this conversation going, not with fear, but with warmth and wisdom. And if you'd like more gentle, honest talks like this one, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're building a space here where life, in all its stages, can be honored. You are not alone. You are loved, and your story matters.